Live from SoFi Stadium, this is the Rams pregame show. And for the second time in as many weeks, SoFi Stadium is the host for the NFL's only undefeated showdown. The 3-0 Arizona Cardinals, the 3-0 Los Angeles Rams at the outset of NFC West play. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm JB Long, joined by my radio broadcast partners, Maurice Jones-Drew and DeMarco Farr, set to break down this matchup between the Cards and the Rams. And let's start with now the two-time NFC Offensive Player of the Week here in 2021. Rams quarterback Matthew Stafford. Maurice, why is this partnership working so well so early?
Well, I think, one, you have Matthew Stafford, who has been a tremendous player his whole career, but now he's with an offensive genius, a guy that can help you create more. And I think the thing that's not talked about enough is how much Matthew Stafford is changing the Rams' play at the line of scrimmage to get him into the perfect play. And that's it's not, yes, he has the arm talent, and yes, Sean McVay designs great plays, but when you get to the line of scrimmage, you make multiple checks left and right. You see the blitz coming, you're able to get it to a screen. All those things matter because now the defense can't game plan for that. They can't game plan for alerts and checks and different things like that.
Boy, it's steamy down here. You guys want me to hurry through this?
No, this is good.
I shouldn't have wore this.
Got a good
I shouldn't have
pregame
worn
lather
the bone
going on.
shirt.
Hydrate, baby, hydrate.
DeMarco, from the NFC Player of the Week to the Player of the Month, Cooper Kupp. What a start he's had.
Man, Cooper Kupp has been phenomenal since he's been a Ram. And with Matthew Stafford, he's been almost unstoppable, and that's because of his talent. And number one, how they use him. It's almost impossible to keep him from getting the football because of he can line up in so many places, and there's not a place that Matthew Stafford can't get him the football. So I think there's more yet to come. There's more yet to come for everybody in this offense, but Cooper Kupp is off to a great start. I fully expect him to have a great day today against this defense. If you can keep 55 Chandler Jones off of Matthew Stafford, you'll have a chance to pick them apart. But Cooper Kupp has been special.
Well, let's go there next. I'd love to hear from both of you on this point. Like, this group of Rams so far to me is showing exactly what it means to protect with all 11. We can start with the offensive line, but whether it's Sony Michel or Tyler Higbee or the receivers, they're all playing a part in pass protection.
Oh, no question. Some of it is getting the ball out quickly. Others is just picking up your protection and sacrificing your body. Sony Michel last week runs across the formation to pick up a blitzing cornerback and flips him right in front of Matthew Stafford. The sacrifice, the dedication to go out there and sell your body out for your quarterback is what you want. And this team is bought in. The offense is bought in. But like I said before, the quarterback has to protect himself as well. And that's what Matthew Stafford does best. With his experience, he can check out of certain plays that may get him hit or hurt and go into the right play to get the ball out quick, like a screen to Tyler Higbee here on the goal line.
DeMarco, Sean McVay's doing plenty of things to make life easy for the offensive line and for Matthew Stafford, but maybe not as much as he has done in years past. What I mean by that is it hasn't been a steady play-action diet. They haven't been moving the spot for Stafford. They haven't needed to yet. They're beating teams with the pure drop-back passing game.
Well, you have that guy, and I remember this. When you have a franchise quarterback or a Hall of Famer quarterback, you better do everything in your power to protect that guy, or you might be out of a job if you're a running back or tight end. So, yeah, Sean McVay hasn't had to manufacture as many good launching points for his quarterback because Matthew Stafford can stand back and gun and just survey the field. But I think the offense as a whole and the team as a whole has done a great job not hurting themselves with penalties, staying ahead of the chain, staying on schedule. If you can stay on script, I don't care if the Cardinals stop you on third down and you have to punt, that's great. But you have to overcome 1st and 15, 1st and 20 constantly every single drive. That will tax your offensive line. That will tax your protections and give them, the Arizona Cardinals, too much information, and they'll find a way to get home. So I think they've been great to this point, but they'll be tested in this game, no doubt.
And I think playing clean. You're talking about no penalties. That's playing clean. That's having everyone doing their job, no one overextending. And the longer you can play clean, the better you play, and the further you go in throughout the playoffs.
Let's switch sides now and talk about another MVP candidate in the early season for this game, Kyler Murray. He's rushed for a score in every game so far this season. He's passed for 7 others. He's been intercepted 4 times. Guys, from where we were here in Week 17, where he was knocked out of this win-or-go-home game, essentially, for the Arizona Cardinals, how impressed are you with the stride he's taken in year 3 with Cliff Kingsbury?
I'm really impressed. From the time that he became a pro, you knew he was going to become a problem because of that speed, but he's getting nothing but better. I think they've tailored the offense to his strength, and the game is starting to slow down for him like it does for every quarterback or every guy that plays this sport. But I'll say this, if we're the offensive line and Kyler Murray is behind us, where you don't want to have him scramble is out beyond the tackles where he has the benefit of the sideline. Make him scramble up through the A and B gaps so you can get pads on him and punish him. Make him pay for scrambling. But I'm telling you, The three teams that played him this year played him like they were afraid he was going to run every single snap, and he's been standing in the pocket dealing. So if you're Raheem Morris, don't change your plan. Go after the guy. If he runs, make him pay for it.
Yeah, I think for me, guys, it's not only is he feeling comfortable, but the Arizona Cardinals did a great job of really going out, adding Rodney Hudson, right? Then going and drafting some receivers, adding A.J. Green, putting more talent around him, going and get James Conner, another running back to help with their running game. They put a lot of weapons. They invested a lot of them. And then defensively, to get him the ball back, you had J.J. Watt and others as well. So they've done a ton to really invest around Kyler Murray, and you're kind of seeing the dividends now. Let's see if it can show up again week 4.
Let's go to the middle of the Rams defense then as they look to combat the Arizona Cardinals. And the play speed of Kenny Young is something it feels like we're talking about every week. How much of a role or responsibility does he have for containing the man we just spoke about?
I think we've done this twice in our broadcast career. Going back to Corey Littleton, I don't know about him starting the middle linebacker a year later. Wow, he's one of the best players that the Rams have. Same thing with Kenny Young. I'm not so sure, question marks. The first 3 weeks, he has been fantastic. Even the game where he got thrown out, he has been fantastic. In run and pass, he's gotten everybody lined up. He makes the tackles he should make, plus some plays he should not make. So I think he's been great, but I think this is going to be a perfect game for him, kind of spying Kyler Murray, dropping back and coming up to get him.
Yeah, I don't know what questions DeMarco had about Kenny Young, because I had no questions. I've watched Kenny Young ball out since he was a freshman at UCLA, so I knew he understood. He had the talent to go there. I think the questions came with Kenny Young was, could he understand the defense? Could he get a grasp of it? Could he get a hold of the defense and then be able to play fast? Because when he's thinking, he's not able to play as fast as you want. He's a step or two late. But here, we've seen in the first 3 weeks of Marco, this is the Kenny Young that I saw. This is the Kenny Young that we recruited to the Bruins. And we need Kenny Young back at UCLA because we just lost to Arizona State. So
sounds like a guy playing for the bag. That's
no
what
question.
I see. Yeah, absolutely.
But this is the thing, though. When you play for the bag, that expectation is there week after week after week. And just like Corey Littleton, he got a bag.
No doubt.
And now his expectations are raised. Same with Kenny Young. You got to do this for a full season, a full 17 games, and we'll see what happens after that.
Let's go to outside linebacker. Let's go to the edge next because this is a tough week to be without Justin Hollins. He's been playing great. Unfortunately, hurt his pec. It required surgery on Tuesday. So we hope 8 to 10 weeks he'll be back before the end of the season. But my goodness, whether it's Terrell Lewis, whether it's Obo Okoronkwo coming off of injured reserve to play some reps on the edge, what a task they have opposite Leonard Floyd.
Well, I was going to say, Justin Hollins, his whole deal, you never heard his name, which is like, and what I mean by never heard his name, it wasn't like Justin Hollins messed up there.
Never lost
He never lost contain. Justin Hollins, he wasn't where, he's always where he's supposed to be. And when you have talented players like Aaron Donald and Leonard Floyd on that defensive line, Sebastian Johnson, all you have to do is do your job. And that's what he did well. He did his job. So for Terrell Lewis to come in, guess what? Do your job. Don't do anything else. If you have contain, do contain. If we're running a stunt, do your job because we're doing it for a reason. When you do your job, this defense is one of the top in the league. If it's Obo Okoronkwo and you come in, do your job.
Unfortunately, you don't get points for breaking ribs, for knocking out Gronk. That was last week. So 34 snaps, 2 tackles. Terrell Lewis is going to get a lot of run this week, so we'll see how he plays. But that will be an area of concern for the Rams defense.
Real quick to follow up to Marco, I know you spent a lot of time looking at the patchwork offensive line for the Arizona Cardinals. They ended up playing a couple of not only backups, but practice squad elevation players in Jacksonville last week. 3 more questionable here today.
I'll answer it this way. We've done all week a lot talking about Jalen Ramsey. I think that might stop today because Aaron Donald, I think, will tear this line apart.
Interesting. All right, well, Cliff Kingsbury says that if he had to choose, it would be Ramsey as his NFL MVP on defense to this point. All right, seldom do we talk about kickers in this portion of the program, but it's high time because Matt Gay has been perfect this season. In fact, he's made 19 in a row, including the playoffs dating back to last season when he came in and really solidified the Rams' kicking game. It's poignant this week, too, because of just how monumental kicks were in the NFL last week, the last couple of weeks, and you got Matt Prater on the opposite sideline, who until last week held the NFL's record for longest kick. How much do you think place kicking will factor in to the outcome here today?
I think this is going to be a high-scoring game. Okay. I don't think it's going to come down to a field goal. I don't think. I mean, you're going to have to make your field goals when that happens, but I think there's going to be so many touchdowns thrown and scored today, ran, whatever it might have been, that this is, you got to remember, this matchup in Week 4, this is high octane versus high octane. This is your Lambo versus my Ferrari.
Let's go.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I'm not going to ease off the line on this one. I'm going to take off. There is no field goals here in this situation.
DeMarco, for the record, I made a good faith effort to try and get some kickers some love, and Maurice just punted it away.
I'll say this, in a high-scoring game, one of these 3 points, these field goals, is going to take somebody's game plan away. It's going to go from a 10-point game to a 13-point game. Forget the run. We got to throw.
Ready for matchups to watch for in week 4 here? 3-0 Arizona against 3-0 Los Angeles. DeMarco, back to your end. You can lead us off.
Wow. Matchups to watch today. Well, Kyler Murray versus everybody. That's number one. I like this Arizona Cardinals linebacking core. I think they're tremendous. I think they're young. They're an issue now. Next year, they'll be a problem.
Yes.
So the Rams front five, the offensive line versus that linebacking core, getting those guys plugged up and blocked up is going to be pretty tough. So that's my matchup. If you can keep these guys away from the ball carrier, keep these guys away from the quarterback, you'll have a chance to move the ball on the ground.
Anytime Sean McVay goes against young linebackers, it reminds me of that Dallas Cowboys game in the playoffs, right? He had those guys running into each other. No one knew what they were doing. So I like that matchup. But for me, I always go with the prime time. I love Tyson Holyfield.
Yeah.
Don't give me the undercard. I love the best versus the best. And today we have a beautiful matchup of Jalen Ramsey following DeAndre Hopkins. That is the best of the best. Now, they're going to tell you all the beautiful things in front of the camera. Oh, he's the best receiver. Oh, he's the best DB. But deep down inside, they don't like each other. Deep down inside, the competitive spirit that they both have, it doesn't allow you to like the guy on the other side. So I think that's a matchup for me that I can't wait to see.
I have 2 quick follow-ups on that. One, Christian Kirk is going off. In fact, from the slot, only Cooper Kupp has more yardage, more damage done from that position. Given how much Jalen's playing there, might we see less D-Hop and more Christian Kirk against Jalen Ramsey?
I think they may follow. I just think they may put Jalen and have him follow and then roll the coverage to everyone else's side. Kind of similar to what we normally do. I mean, you have to do that. That's why you paid him all this money, right?
David Long Jr. Yeah, come on, guy. Yeah.
DeMarco, one other for you. He mentioned the playoff game against Dallas when the Rams ran downhill on their way to the NFC Championship game. The other one that comes to mind this week is, of course, C.J. Anderson coming off the street to run all over Arizona and Glendale. And I'm thinking of that because I think the strength of this Arizona defense is on the edge, not necessarily on the interior. Might this be the first time all season that Sean McVay says, you know what, on early downs, we're going to make them stop our running game?
I think the Rams are going to have success running the football. Okay. And you mean Chandler Jones, stay away from him. When you said it, look, if you're Matthew Stafford and you have a play going towards 55, you might want to check that. But with J.J. Watt in the middle, I mean, he's tremendous, 3-time Defensive Player of the Year, but it's a little bit different. It's an older guy. You can run the ball at J.J. Watt, and possibly he'll take himself out of plays going backdoor too many times. Look for the Rams to take advantage of that. But like you said, if it's an obvious passing down, everybody point out 55, make sure he knows it. He can wreck your day.
Because unlike last week against Tampa Bay when they were banged up in their secondary, this secondary for Arizona is playing really well right now. If there is a weak link, I think it's Marco Wilson, their third corner. So I'll be looking for my matchup to watch which Rams receiver can draw that assignment most often. And I think a lot of Rams fans, maybe a lot of fantasy football players, hope it's Robert Woods' turn to get his, because a lot of different Rams receivers have been feasting. All right, that'll do it for our Rams pregame show. For DeMarco Farr, from Maurice Jones-Drew, I'm JB Long. Kickoff is just after 1 o'clock. You can watch it on Fox. You can also listen to the three of us on 710 ESPN or Jack FM 93.1. Sean McVay looking to stay perfect against rival Arizona. First place in the West will be decided here at SoFi Stadium.